Can everybody see the title slide here about control showing cue bids, I hope? All right, now, control showing cue bids. You know, the name cue bids applies to a lot of different things. We can cue bid support for partner suit when the opponents interfere. We can cue bid support for partners overcall. And that in effect asks him, partner, how good is your overcall? Or are you on your usual lousy 8, or do you actually have something over there? When we have a limit raise or better, we can use the opponent's suit against them to help us describe a hand that's limit raise or better in support of partner suit. The problem comes in that cue bids have lots and lots of different uses. And one of them is a control showing cue bid. This is a cue bid in the sense that it doesn't designate a real suit, but it is a bit of a suit that shows something to partner. Just as the cue bid showing support tells partner, gives partner information about your hand, so does a control showing cue bid. These kinds of cue bids are particularly helpful when Blackwood isn't. So what are we talking about here? First off, they're very, very effective. Very effective. Instead of asking partner how many key cards or aces he has, you can find out exactly which ace partner has. Because when he cue bids a suit, he shows you a control in that suit. So many's the time when you have a hand that has, in particular, a void in it, or a worthless doubleton or tripleton. In other words, no ace or king, no first or second round control in the suit in your hand. And you don't want to get too high in case partner doesn't have coverage in the suit for you. So when you're off more than one key card, and you have a suit that's either void or you have worthless cards only in your hand, the control showing cue bid becomes very, very effective. And it's not necessarily just an ace either. It can be a king as well. We'll get into more about how you show that here a little bit later. But first off, what in the world is a control? Well, a control is just a card in a suit that keeps the opponents from taking lots of tricks, lots of quick tricks in particular. You may have heard it said sometimes that, oh, I have a fast loser here in this suit, or oh, I have a slow loser over here. Well, a control is a card that means that you can keep them from running more than one trick or sometimes two tricks in a suit. And that's why they're called control. You can control who takes the trick. Now, a first round control is either an ace or a void. And of course, a void is only a first round control in a suit contract. In a no trump contract, a void is not a control. That's one of the primary reasons why people ask me from time to time, well, when my partner bids Blackwood, should I count a void as an ace? And my answer is absolutely not, because partner may go crazy and bid 7 no trump, thinking you have all the aces. A void in a no trump contract is useless. Now, a second round control is either a king or a singleton. Either one of those kinds of holdings can be very helpful in a suit contract. So remembering that to make a grand slam, you have to have first round control in absolutely every suit. Cannot be off an ace, obviously. To make a small slam, you have to have first round control in at least 3 suits. At the very minimum, 3 of the 4 suits. Plus, in that 4th suit, you have to have a second round control, either a king or a singleton. In many, 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 many cases, just like what Ella was talking about here a minute ago, it can be more important to know about your partner's controls than about the number of aces that he holds. If you watch high-level bridge players bid slams, very often They bid them using nothing other than control showing cue bids rather than using Blackwood. Blackwood is very, very helpful in many, many cases, but a lot of the better players prefer using control showing bids, but there's a knack to learning how to use them. How do we go about using a control showing cue bid? If I want to know something about my partner's controls or aces or kings, first thing that's necessary is we have to have agreed a trump suit. Why is it important that it's a trump suit rather than no trump? Well, no trump has this quantitative bid of 4 no trump. Remember, when no trump is the last bid, last natural bid, you can use a jump to 4 no trump or a bid of 4 no trump following 2 no trump or 3 no trump to invite partner to slam if he's on a maximum, or he can pass if he's on a minimum. No trump bidding is often a matter of just adding. It's just a simple matter of addition. But when you start talking about suit slams, distribution becomes an issue. And that's why we're going to have agreed a trump suit when we're showing a control in a suit. This happens when one of the players has some slam interest. After the trump suit has been established, and that is the number one requirement. A trump suit has been established. And then when you bid at the 4 level in a new suit, that is considered a slam try. Control showing cue bids are slam tries. Now, if it happens that your trump suit is hearts, then a bid of 3 spades would also be control showing, simply due to the fact that if you jump to 4 spades, if partner's on a dead minimum, well, you've gone past your game level, and you can't bid 4 spades and then back up the auction to 4 hearts. The opponents won't let you do that, I promise. So 3 spades can be used as control showing when the trump suit is hearts. So 3-level bids, once you've found trump suit agreement, are generally game tries, not slam tries. So that's why I've written specifically here that a control showing cue bid takes place at the 4 level or higher. I put some sequences down here on this slide to show you that the last bid in each of these sequences is a control showing bid. I want to tell you a story about what happened in the game I was playing in online yesterday morning with my friend from Tulsa. We were not bidding. My left-hand opponent had a very strong hand, and they eventually got to the point where my right-hand opponent had bid 4 hearts. You know, he was satisfied with the 4 heart bid, but my left-hand opponent had bid strongly, and so I wasn't terribly surprised when 4 spades hit the table after or it came up on the screen after my right-hand opponent bid 4 hearts, the agreed upon trump suit. And I thought, oh, okay, well, as it happens, my partner had opened 1 spade, but after that initial bid, neither one of us bid at all because I didn't have spade support and couldn't bid at the level I would have needed to anyway to respond to her. When he bid 4 spades, I thought, oh, okay, well, my partner doesn't have the ace, or something's going on here. He's interested in slam, and he's telling partner, hey, I have control of this suit over here. Can you show me a control that you have, please? It was interesting. After that 4 spade bid by my left-hand opponent, my partner passed. And my right-hand opponent passed, and I felt the air go completely out of the room. I thought, oh, he passed 4 spades. My partner opened 1 spade. I'm sitting here looking at the King Doubleton. His partner had passed a control showing cue bid. I wanted to double with every bone in my body. but I knew if I doubled, that would give them another chance to bid again, and they would run out to hearts. So I just passed, and sure enough, my left-hand opponent was void in spades. He was Q-bidding first round control of spades as a void. The problem was that his partner had 6 spades to the Jack-9, and he evidently fell asleep at the switch. So they played 4 spades on a 6-0 fit. When the dust settled, they were down 4, which, all things considered, wasn't horrible. My partner had a nice hand. The opening bidder had a fabulous hand, but his partner forgot. We agreed hearts as trumps. Even if he didn't know what that 4-spade bid meant, he absolutely should never pass. If your partner makes a bid and you don't know what it means, for goodness sakes, don't pass. In that instance right there, my partner and I got very lucky. We got a top for just because we sat there and didn't do anything. It was a complete gift. But remember, when you use control showing Q bids or any new thing that you've taken up, disasters can happen. They went on down the road. They played the next hand and the next hand after that. And I think they're both still walking around today just fine. They might not be partners anymore, but things like that happen at the bridge table. So don't get upset if something like this happens to you. It's happened to all of us. And usually it happens to me rather than for me, like it did yesterday. It's a wonder that everybody in town didn't hear an audible gasp from me when that fella passed the 4-spade bid. It was very clearly a control showing Q bid, and his partner just thought, well, hey, I have 6 spades. I don't mind playing spades, forgetting that my partner had opened 1 spade. Here's an example of that: 1 heart, 3 hearts, 3 spades. The difference was they had been around and settled on 4 hearts, and then the opening bidder bid 4 spades. Control showing Q bids should never be passed. They're like other Q bids. If you're not sure what to do, just go back to the trump suit. You don't want to leave your partner playing in a trump suit where he has no cards. It doesn't work out well usually, needless to say. Here's another example: a diamond, a spade, 3 spades by the opener, 4 hearts. We've agreed spades as the trump suit. 4 hearts is not a suggestion that I want to play in hearts. It says, I have a control in hearts here, partner. Same thing here. We've agreed hearts. Now 4 diamonds says, I have a first round control in diamonds, partner. You notice he skipped over spades and clubs. This is an important feature of a control showing Q bid. Control showing Q bids are bid up the line. When you skip a suit or 2 suits, you deny having a control in that suit. So when your partner bids another suit at the 4 level after you have agreed your trump suit, your partner is saying, hey, I'm interested in a slam here. I have first round control in this suit. Are you interested? What does this mean for the responder? When opener or responder makes a control showing Q bid, how does the other person in the partnership bid back to him? Well, if you have a dead minimum for your bid and you're uncomfortable exploring for a slam, you just return to the trump suit at the very cheapest level available to you. Because if partner has really a big hand, he can keep showing you controls if he wants to. He doesn't have to stop just because you put on the brakes. You know, once in a while, you open the bidding and your partner's sitting there with a great big old hand. He doesn't care much whether you're a dead minimum for your opening bid. He says, I think there's a very strong possibility that we have slam anyway. But if you have a reasonable hand, then you need to cooperate with your partner because, quite frankly, you're not sure exactly how big his hand is. If you have something that's reasonable, you cooperate. Well, what does that mean? How do I cooperate? Well, if your partner bids a first round control in a suit, and you have a first round control in a non-trump suit, control showing Q bids are not used to show controls in your agreed upon trump suit. There is side suit controls only. In the first example here, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds. This is I'm calling 3 spades here a not weak. Some of you play that this is a preemptive raise here. But for a lot of you, this is a 4-card limit raise here. The 3 spade bid is 4 diamonds shows a first round control in diamonds. And then when partner goes back to 4 spades, he says, I really, really only have a dead minimum limit raise. Maybe 10 high card points and maybe a point for shape or something. I have a dead minimum limit raise here, partner. Not interested. I really am not interested. But if instead of bidding 4 spades, partner bids 4 hearts, he says, oh, I see. Okay. You have first round control of diamonds. I happen to have a control in hearts. Does that help you? If he skips over hearts, though, to bid 5 clubs, that shows a first round control in clubs, but denies a first round control in hearts. Notice here that this 4 diamond bid denies a first round control in clubs because he skipped over clubs. The cheapest available bid was 5 clubs and he skipped over it. So by doing that, he denied a first round control in clubs. After partner bids 4 diamonds, if you bid 5 diamonds, that says, I don't have a first round control to show you, but I have second round control in diamonds. That being either a singleton or a king. And then, of course, if you bid 4 no trump following this control showing Q bid, that is whatever form of Blackwood or ace asking that you would use here. So, yes.
Roy has his hand up.
Oh, go right ahead, Roy. Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that I understand this, in that sequence, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds, that is either an ace or a void. It is not second round king 1, queen 2, or king 1.
Yeah, well, it depends on which style of Q bidding you and your partner use. I'm talking about American style Q bidding here, which shows first round control first.
Okay, so you're only bidding first round controls unless you're doing Italian.
Second. But what I'm talking about here, I think it's easier when you're first to say first round controls only. And that is what most people use. Some people, though, will use first or second round controls below game, first round controls only above the game level, Roy.
Okay, so this has got to be a partnership agreement of whether you're going to bid second round controls
below game.
Below game. Okay.
There's an advantage to doing that, but the disadvantage is that you're not sure whether it's a first or a second round control. Now, notice that this 4 spade bid here, the return to the trump suit, doesn't deny a first round control in hearts. What it says is, I'm dead minimum and I am not comfortable with going past the game level. Unless you have a huge hand over there, game or 1 over trick in game will be the maximum that we have. So use your judgment here, but I'm telling you, I'm not interested in doing that. But as I said, partner can always insist by either making another control showing bid or by bidding Blackwood, one of the two. Now, after the initial control showing bid, the partners begin showing controls up the line. Now, this auction right here, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 diamonds. I have first round control in diamonds, but I skipped clubs So I don't have a first round control in clubs. Then partner says, well, hey, I have first round control in clubs, 5 clubs. Well, evidently that was all opener needed to know, because now he bids 6 spades. Notice 5 clubs goes past 4, no trump anyway. So ace asking is gone now. But with the ace, he doesn't stop in 5 spades here. The next cheapest first round control, though, for responder is 5 clubs. And if he is comfortable with the slam exploration, then he can show that first round club control, and now partner bids 6 spades. Once you have shown the first round controls in your hand, you can show second round controls. Now, the way you do this, and the way partners should interpret your bidding, is to remember a couple of things. If you have already skipped over a suit, then Q bidding that suit later on in the control showing sequence shows a second round control. If you skipped over it the first time, you don't have first round control, but Q bidding it later shows second round control. And if either player has already Q bid one side suit and then re-Q bids it, that shows a first and a second round control. Either the ace and king or the singleton ace could be considered the same kind of thing. So you can show second round controls by remembering that if you skip over a suit when you're showing first round controls and then you Q bid it, that's a second round control that you're showing. And if you have already Q bid the suit and you Q bid it again, don't re-Q bid a first round control unless you have second round control in that suit also. You don't re-Q any control at all. You show it once and that's all. So when you re-Q bid a suit, you show first and second round control in that suit. Here's some examples. I think examples illustrate stuff a little bit better than text does here. In this auction right here, 1 heart, 3 hearts, 4 clubs. Opener skipped over spades, didn't he? Spades would have been his cheapest first round control. He skipped over spades. 4 clubs. 4 diamonds by responder. Well, you have first round control of clubs. I have first round control of diamonds. 4 spades. Now, when he bids spades, notice he skipped over it here in the first part of the sequence. This shows a second round control of spades. If he had first round control, he'd have bid it before he bid clubs. Since he didn't, his partner should know that he does not have first round control of spades, but there are not 2 fast losers in the spade suit because he has second round control. Here's another one. 1 heart, 3 hearts, 4 clubs by opener, once again, skipping over the spade suit. 4 diamonds, just as before, 5 clubs. The 5 club bid shows second round of control of clubs because opener has already shown first round control of clubs when he bid 4 clubs. Apparently, he's not too concerned about spades here. This is interesting to me. Well, for one thing, he can still stop in 5 hearts. That's one thing. Remember, when you're using Q bids, your forced responses don't necessarily drive you past the 5 level of the trump suit. Sometimes you have to be careful when you're using Blackwood that you're not forcing your partner to give you a response that will push you past the 5 level of the suit that you've agreed if he has the wrong number of controls. This is particularly true when you're bidding minor suit slams. But now notice opener has denied a spade control here. This means that the responder should probably sign off in 5 hearts if he does not have a spade control. Responder now knows absolutely 100% for sure that his partner does not have a spade control. And unless he does, he needs to bid 5 hearts. If he has spade control, then he can show it here. He can still bid 5 spades. But just because the opener hasn't shown a spade control doesn't mean that responder doesn't have the information that he needs to place the contract. He knows partner does not have a spade control, so if he doesn't have one, he needs to stop in 5 hearts. Now, if he has a singleton spade, that's second round control, isn't it? So he has a second round control of spades. We have first round control of clubs and diamonds and presumably hearts, since that's the trump suit. So unless responder has a spade control on this sequence, he needs to sign off in 5 hearts. This is how you figure this stuff out using control showing cue bids. Now, what if in the bidding sequence, your partner has bid that suit? Does that look like I'm returning to that suit that he bid initially? Or what's going on here? Well, remember, when you have set the trump suit, the bid of another side suit, even if partner has bid it previously, is not a proposal to play in that suit. For instance, on this auction right here, 1 diamond, 1 heart, 3 hearts. We have set hearts as the trump suit. Bidding and raising that heart suit there sets the trump suit. Opener says, oh, or responder says, oh, my partner has 4 hearts and he has that invitational hand there. I'm kind of interested. Partner, I have a first round control in spades. What do you think? Well, I have first round control in clubs. Does that help you? 4 diamonds. This is not returning to the diamond suit. We have agreed hearts as trumps. What this shows is a first or second round control in the suit that partner bid. I hope this makes sense to you. This 4 diamond bid is not a suggestion or does not show support for diamonds. We have agreed hearts as trumps. Just because partner bid it, though, I can still show him that I have a control in that minor suit that he opened. Anybody have any questions about that, about why that's not a return to the diamond suit? Makes sense to everybody, I hope. Okay. Now,
Susan, so suddenly you switch from being a first round control to a first or second round control of diamonds.
right,
on this
because
one.
partner
Doesn't
bid
make
the
sense.
suit. Because partner bid the suit. That's why. Now, you and your partner can have a different agreement. You can say, well, no, I'm going to show first round controls only, and I'm not going to cue bid your suit unless I have first round control here. That's always an agreement that you can have. Control showing cue bids are highly subject to partnership agreement because there are so many different ways of using them. Does that make sense, Harv?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Returning to the trump suit is always a sign-off attempt. It says, even though you've told me you're interested, that you have slam interest, you have more than a minimum for what you have shown me. You have, in other words, you have more than what you have promised up to now. I just have doubts about whether we can make a slam. I think we should stop in game. At any point, if one of the partners returns to the trump suit, that's his signal to partner saying, I think this is high enough. I have nothing else to show you. And given the information that you have shown me, I am unsure about going any higher than that. So I think we need to stop. Your partner may pass, or he may continue to pursue the slam. Depending, he may have a highly distributional hand that he thinks will produce slam opposite even a minimum limit raise, for instance. You don't know, but it's okay for you to tell your partner that. And it doesn't mean that he has to automatically obey and put down the green card. He's expected to use his judgment, look at his hand in light of what you've told him, and then proceed or not as he thinks is best. And don't expect your partner's judgment to be perfect. You know, there's not a single one of us that plays bridge that makes the right decision every time. I mean, a bridge game is nothing more than a whole gob of decisions made, one after the other. And the people who do well in it are the people who make fewer mistakes when they make their decisions. They make good decisions more often than they make not so good decisions. So,
Susan, can you back up to the page that you just left? So if we were bidding the example that's shown on that page that ends with the diamond control, if the next player does have a heart control, it sounds like bidding 4 hearts would mean that's it, it's a sign off and game.
well, no, he doesn't. We don't Q bid the trump suit.
Okay, so that's the difference. Is
So if he bids 4 hearts, if opener says, nah, but opener is the one, no, it was responder here who initiated the bidding sequence. If opener signs off in 4 hearts, he says, I have the invitational opening hand, partner, exactly what I've shown you. I'd have bid 4 hearts if I had the maximum opening hand, and you've limited your hand by using a limit raise. So unless he has something undisclosed in his hand here, then opener might sign off in 4 hearts. 4 hearts would never be a Q bid here because that's the agreed upon trump suit.
and so is control in the trump suit just assumed?
That's what Blackwood's for.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're getting there then.
If you get to the point where that generally the reason you don't use Blackwood immediately is because you either have a void or a worthless doubleton in a side suit, and you're missing more than 1 key card or ace. If you're only missing 1, then partner's answer will tell you what you need to know. But if you're missing more than 1 key card or ace, and you have that void or worthless doubleton in your hand, then if partner's answer says, I have 1, then, I don't know which one it is. That's what Q bidding is for. But once you find out that your partner has a control in the suit you were concerned about, now all you have to do is bid Blackwood to see whether you're going to bid 6 or 7. Blackwood in that case now will just enable you to make sure that you're not off 2 cashing aces, for instance. Generally Q bidding is used when you have a concern about using Blackwood because of one of your side suits. Some people call them sorry side suits. Some people call them silly side suits. They're these problems in an otherwise wonderful hand, and they can keep you from using Blackwood when you would like to.
Okay, thank you. Gail Long has her hand up now.
Go right ahead, Gail.
On that same line of thought, if you can go back, you said that 3 hearts showed a limit raise, whereas that 3 heart bidder actually was the opener.
Back up. Opener bid a diamond, responder bid a heart. Opener bid 3 hearts, showing the invitational. If I said limit raise, that's wrong. This is the
Invitational. Okay, that makes more sense. Maybe I heard it wrong.
And with 4 card heart support in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's 4-4, but a lot of points.
Yeah. Well, it's 16 to 18 points total valuation.
Right, for invitational there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's the hand that might have rebid to no trump if you hadn't found the heart fit, in other words. If
Okay.
you open one no trump, say if you had 18 points, you open a minor and jump to 2 no trump, that shows 18 points balanced. But if partner, say for instance, had bid a spade and you don't have a 4 forfeit, you only have 4 hearts, then you might have jumped to 2 no trump to show that hand there. But since you found the heart fit, you jump to 3 of the major. So,
Okay.
okay, now then, sometimes go on forever and ever and ever and ever, all the way up into the 6th level sometimes. Here's an example. 1 heart by opener, 1 spade by responder, 2 diamonds by opener. Responder says 4 hearts. I like game here. Opener says, ooh, I think we might have more than game here since you've bid the game here. You've shown me that we have enough for game, even though I really didn't show you a whole bob extra. You know, to rebid 2 diamonds here, opener might have as many as 17 or 18 points and not have had a hand that was suitable for opening 1 no trump. So he could have a hand that's really pretty nice and just rebid 2 diamonds, and that would explain why he might Q bid. But he has a problem here. For some reason, he doesn't want to use Blackwood. So notice he skips over spades here. He bids 5 clubs. First round control. 5 diamonds by responder. First round control of diamonds. Opener likes to hear that. He bid diamonds. 5 spades. Notice he didn't bid 4 spades. That might have looked like I'd really rather play 4 spades than 4 hearts. When responder has bid spades, if opener were to bid 4 spades here, that would look like, no, I don't want to. If opener bids 5 spades, 4 spades over responder's 4 heart bid there, that might be interpreted by the responder as, well, hey, I really have spade support with you. Now, why it shouldn't be, because he should raise spades immediately if he has spade support, but he didn't. But so pretty much this 5 club bid by the opener denies a first round control in the spade suit. So he bids 5 clubs. Responder says 5 diamonds here. 5 spades. That's a second round control in spades because he skipped over 4 spades, right? 6 clubs shows the second round control of clubs because 5 clubs was already Q bid. Now, you might get really cute and run out of first and second round controls to show and start bidding third round controls, but at some point you're going to have to stop because you're going to run out of bidding room, right? I have never seen Q bidding go as high as third round controls, but it's not inconceivable that it might. So now, either partner can bid Blackwood anytime he wants to. 1 heart, 1 spade, 3 spades. Opener says, I have that 16 to 18 point hand with 4 card spade support. Responder says, well, hey, I have first round control in diamonds. If you're that good, what do you think about this little piece of information? Well, I think that's incredible. I think we might have slam. 4 no trump is now Blackwood or key card for spades, whichever way you would play that. Now, when is a new suit a control showing bid? As I said earlier, at the 3 level or below in your major suit, there are no control bids. Those are game tries. And if you're in a 2/1 auction, game tries have no particular meaning because you're already in a game forcing auction. No 2/1 auction took place. At the 3 level or below in your major, you don't show controls. At the level above 3 of your major, once a fit has been found, this is absolutely critical. Once a fit has been found, a new suit is a control showing bid. So, in the example of 1 spade, 2 spades, 3 clubs by the opener is not control showing. This is some sort of game try. There are all kinds of game tries out there, long suit game tries, targeted game invitations, short suit game tries, general game tries, which are generally bids of 2 no trump. But this would be a game try, not control showing, because it does not take place at the 3 above the 3 level of the major suit that has been agreed. Here we go back to second round controls again.
Susie, can I ask a question real quick? What if you're playing Jacoby 2-0?
Mhm.
Can you then Q bidding, can it be at the 3 level?
Generally, what happens is the Jacoby 2 no trump auctions are a special case. Normally played is one of a major 2 no trump. The rebid by the opener at the 3 level shows shortness and should be alerted. The 2 no trump obviously has to be alerted as well, but a 3 level bid by opener generally shows a singleton or a void in the suit bid. So that could be considered a form of a control convention that is designed to determine the degree of fit between the 2 hands. I mean, we're all pretty capable of finding game contracts. Jacoby 2 no trump splinter bids and control showing Q bids are designed to help you find slams. So the opener shows shortness. The responder's next bid, if he's interested at all, is usually a control. So in that instance, if the responder can bid at the 3 level, it might be. But a Jacoby 2 no trump auction is a different animal from a normal, non-conventional auction.
And it's okay if you don't want to cover that. I understand. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't
Right,
thinking
no,
wrong. Okay.
That's a good point, because a lot of people do play Jacoby 2 no trump. Opener's rebid is designed to show his point level or his shape or something like that. And it is absolutely a game force and is designed to help you find a slam if it's possible that one is there. Sets it apart from this subject. Okay, now then. A secondary Q bid, just basically, as I've said before, shows a second round control. That's either a king or a singleton, and a Q bid is secondary if it's a bid in a suit in which a primary Q has already been made, or it is a bid in a suit that the bidder skipped over initially. He skipped it when he was showing first round controls, and now he bids it, it shows a second round control. Here are a couple or 3 rules for you to remember that might help you when you're trying to decide which control you should show. You never make a secondary Q bid if you have a primary Q bid to make. You make all your primary Q bids first. Rule number 2 is don't differentiate between a king and a singleton when you're using a secondary Q bid. And rule number 3, when you have more than one secondary Q bid available to you, you always bid the cheapest one, that is the lowest ranking suit. Because when you skip over a suit, you deny it. In other words, if I have secondary Qs in both clubs and diamonds, if I decide to show the one in diamonds, then I have denied the second round control in clubs. So don't skip over a secondary Q if it happens to be the cheapest one. When you have a choice, bid the cheapest one first. That will keep your partner from getting too confused. Now, up to now, we've been talking about American style control bidding, which is first round controls first, second round controls after that. I particularly like Italian style Q bids. These types of Q bids show first or second round controls with the first Q bid that's made. The reason I like them is it tells me immediately that we don't have 2 fast losers in that suit. I can use 4 no trump later to determine whether my partner has shown me an ace or a king, which is generally just fine by me. So in this instance, 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 clubs. If you use Italian style cue bidding, this is not just an ace or a void. This can be an ace, a king, a singleton, or a void. But it tells me we do not have 2 fast losers in clubs. And that may be what my concern is. Maybe I have 3 low clubs in my hand. When my partner now shows me a first or second round control in clubs, I'm no longer concerned about using Blackwood if that's what was holding me back. So now there is a downside. You know, there's always a trade-off when you pick one form or another in these bids. And the trade-off is that I don't know which one it is. Is it a first round control or a second round control? It's less specific, in other words, than American cue bidding is. But it gives me a really good idea below the game level whether or not it's safe for me to go ahead and pursue the slam. Now, once I get above game level, I only show first round controls. But below game level here, the way I play, this is a first or second round control. You do not have to play it the same way I do. This just works well for me. But you and your partner are free to adapt whichever style you like. Now, there are a couple of special bids, and here comes the first one. There are a couple of special bids that you can use when you're thinking about bidding a suit slam, and one of them is just bidding 5 of the major. And it's called the voluntary bid of 5 of a major. And basically it says, partner, I don't have a whole lot of honors at the top of my suit. I probably have only one of the top 3 honors, and I am concerned about the quality of our trumps. Nothing else bothers me. So once the bidding has reached 4 hearts or 4 spades, raising to 5 hearts or 5 spades says bid 6 if you have strong trumps. Now there's one other way to ask partner about the quality of his trumps as well, and that's on the last slide. But this is an oldie but goodie. Bidding 5 of the major says, don't have any worries about side suits, but I'm really worried. Maybe I have only the ace. Maybe I have an ace empty suit, and I'm really concerned. Or maybe I just have the queen 10 empty suit because most of my points are in the outside suits. The bid of 4 or 5 can be used to say bid 6 if you have strong trumps. Now here's a list that I put together about when to cue bid and when to use Blackwood. Well, you've heard me say at least 1,000 times, you never use Blackwood when you have a void, right? Well, that's number 1. Cue bid when you hold a void in your hand. When you have a silly side suit or a sorry side suit or one of those in which you have just small cards, at least 2 small cards, but you might have 3 or 4, and you're missing more than 1 ace. Then you don't know if partner gives you the answer that says 1 ace, you don't know whether he has the one that you need or not. So remember, don't ask a question if the answer doesn't help you. So in the instance where you have a void or a silly side suit, cue bid and see if partner will cue bid that suit back to you. That's one of the main reasons that you cue bid, is because you want to know what partner can show you. If he can show you something in the suit that concerns you, then woohoo, we're going to move on down the road. And if he can't, we're going to stop before we get too high. Sometimes you need to discover whether your partner has a specific card, like the ace or a king of a suit. Or you can cue bid if you need to find a 3rd round control in a side suit. Or if your slam, small slam or grand slam, requires that you have a singleton or a void in partner's hand in a specific suit. So hopefully he can cue bid that to you to help you make your decision. Most of the time, you're going to Q bid. The reasons for Q bidding will be these first two. Finding a third round control, I mean, you just rarely ever see that, but you would Q bid if you needed to do that.
Susan, Roy has his hand up.
Go right ahead, Roy.
By inference on what you've been talking about, if you do not have a first round control that has not, or a second round control, you don't have a first round control, and you do not have a second round control that your partner has not already said that he's got the first round control of. For instance, the parts is the agreed suit. And then he controls diamonds and you've got the king. You just go, you don't have any other first round controls. You just go back to the trump suit that you've agreed on and bid that. Saying,
Well,
partner, you don't tell him you've got the second round control of his first round control.
well, he's expressed slam interest. You might show him second round control in that instance, depending on the quality of your hand, Roy. If you're a dead minimum, what you've shown, then I wouldn't show that second round control necessarily. If you're uncomfortable with the idea of slam and the fact that he has first round control of the suit where you have second round and you have nothing else to show him and your minimum, going back to the trump suit doesn't deny a control. The only message it sends is, I'm not comfortable pursuing the slam based on what you've told me.
Okay, that's good.
You may have a control in your hand to show, but I'm dead minimum here, and I don't want to give you any kind of encouragement. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good. Now, when you're trying to decide between Q bidding and using Blackwood, use Blackwood. And of course, you guys know that I love 1430. If the problem is simply the number of aces the partnership holds and not which suit has the ace, or the number of kings and not which suit has a king, then use Blackwood. Sometimes you can tell that you can't discover what you need to know by Q bidding. On most hands, the Q bidding approach results in well, it's a more solid method of bidding slams, and that's why it has so much favor with high-level players. But if you can tell that Q bidding won't tell you what you need to know, then don't bother with it. Don't bother with it. If you have slam potential, but you don't have a Q bid, for instance, if your partner has bid strongly, say he opens 2 clubs, and you're sitting here looking at a pretty clacky 10-point hand, but you know he has at least 22 points in his hand, maybe you don't have a control to show, but you still know that there's a slam possibility simply because he opened 2 clubs and I have 10 points in my hand. Then I'm going to have to bid Blackwood because I don't have a control to show. And if you can tell that Q bidding doesn't answer your questions for you, then you just fall back on Blackwood. So now, here's the other way to ask about trump quality. If you're concerned about, say you've gotten to game in a major suit, and as I was talking about earlier, your trump suit's pretty weak. All your points or most of your points are in the outside suits, and you're thinking, oh boy, my partner has bid strongly, but I need to know about our trumps. Specifically, I need to know how many of the top 3 trump honors my partner has. Here's an example. Terry asked earlier about Jacoby 2 no trump. Here's an example with a bidding scenario for you. Opener here opens 1 spade. This is a pretty strong hand, has lots of trick-taking potential in it, doesn't it? 1 spade. Responder has a very balanced hand, opening values, and 4-card spade support. So he bids 2 no trump, which is alerted. appropriately. Now, the opener has a bunch of spades here, and he has a void, and he's missing a couple of key cards. He's missing the king of spades, and he's missing the ace of diamonds, and he's missing the ace of hearts. So Blackwood is not appropriate here at all, even though he knows that partner has a really good hand, and so does he. He just cooperates in the Jacoby 2 no trump auction. He does that. Now he could rebid 3 spades, showing a big hand with 6 spades. But I like to show my partner's shape. So in this instance, I'm showing him as bidding 3 hearts, showing a singleton or a void in hearts. Well, responder loves that. He's got nothing but worthless cards in the heart suit. So he's delighted to hear that partner is short there. His next bid is 4 diamonds. Remember I said that often when there's slam interest by the parties, all of a sudden, when opener shows heart shortness, the value of responder's hand just went way up. Because there are no wasted values in hearts. All of a sudden, instead of having just a minimum kind of Jacoby 2 no trump raise, he says, this looks pretty good to me. So generally, responder's rebid is a control. In this instance, it's a first round control, 4 diamonds. Well, opener loves to hear that. Oh, my partner has the ace of diamonds. Well, okay. I'm off now the king of trumps, and I have a void still. So what he does is he rebids 4 hearts. This is a control here, and it confirms a heart void. If it were a singleton, he would not rebid it. If you're using American style Q bidding, the rebid here of hearts confirms first round control. Diamonds was a first round control. This heart bid is a first round control now, and it confirms a void because he showed shortness with his first rebid. Well, okay, you have a heart void. That's very fine. But I've shown you my only control, my only first round control here. So I'm just going to bid 4 spades. My hand is better now that I know that you have a heart void, but I still don't know for sure whether you have extra values. You could still have just a 13-point opening hand over there with a void in it. The opener says, oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. You've got the ace of diamonds. I'm missing 2 key cards, and I'm interested in slam. The value of my hand has gone way up in response to your bidding, and I love the fact that you have that diamond ace over there. So he bids 5 clubs. Well, he's already shown his diamond control. What he could do is just bid 5 spades there if he wanted to, but he's confirming that the diamond bid really was a control bid here by rebidding the diamonds. He showed it first there, but he needs to tell partner he could bid 6 clubs too, but you don't really want to go to the 6th level to show a second round control here if you can avoid it. What I want to demonstrate here is that the use of 5 no trump without bidding 4 no trump first says, partner, tell me about your trumps. How many of the top trumps do you hold? There's a fixed set of responses that's used for responder to tell partner. 6 hearts says, I have 2 of the top 3. Well, that's all opener needs to know. He must have the king and queen because I have the ace and the jack here, and we're only concerned about the top 3. We don't ask about the jack usually. The bid of 6 hearts says I have 2 of the top 3. Well, okay, my partner has 2 of the top 3 hearts. He has the ace of diamonds. And we have a void. I have accounted for only 9 of his high card points, and I know he has an opening hand. I know he has an opening hand. So he bids 7 spades here. Here are the responses to the 5 no trump, not preceded by 4. Oops, I made a mistake here. That should be 4 no trump right there in the middle of that sentence, not 5. Is a trump asking bid. Because Q bidding doesn't ask about trumps, you can either use the voluntary bid of 5 of the major to ask partner about the quality of his trumps, or you can jump directly to 5 no trump to ask. It's a series of responses that's not unlike Blackwood. 6 clubs says, I don't have any of the top 3 trump honors. 6 diamonds says, I have 1. 6 hearts says, I have 2 of the top 3 honors. And 6 spades says, I have all 3. Which makes this a very useful bid because Q bidding does not address the trump suit. I hope all of you understand a little bit more about Q bidding first and second round controls. I wouldn't worry about the 5 of a major or 5 no trump just yet. A little uncertain because you're not entirely sure sometimes what your partner's doing. So get together with your partners and practice it. And you'll find that when you've practiced it a little bit, it's like everything else, it becomes easier. But don't be surprised if you don't have a major bidding snafu like my opponents had yesterday, and you end up playing a 6-0 trump fit. You know, it happens, even in the best of family.
Susan,
Yes, ma'am.
could I ask you a quick question? Sure. Okay, on slide 11, going back to that one, where it shows the diamond heart. Yeah. Okay. You said when the opener bids 3 hearts, no, that's not the right one. Let's see.
Slide 10.
Yes. When you said the opener bids 3 hearts, that they're showing 16 to 18 points. Did I hear that correctly?
With a minimum opening hand, he would bid 2 hearts.
Okay. So it's different if it's the responder or the opener.
Yes.
Okay.
Responder jumps to the 3 level. His invitational level hand has a different point range from what openers does.
Okay.
Opener always is required to have more points in order to open the bidding or jump the bidding. Responder doesn't need as many accordingly. So it's really important to remember what your role is. In order to invite game, a responder needs to have only the 10 to 12 point hand, but following a minimum response from your partner, and of course you don't know how good 1 heart is here. This is an unlimited bid. Your partner could have 6 points or he could have 20. But it's forcing for 1 round. But I need to show him as opener that I have more than the minimum 12 to 15 point opening hand here. This hand is 16 to 18 with 4 card heart support in it. Absolutely 4 card support. Opener may have had 5 or he might even have 6, or responder 6, or responder does. Opener is still required to have 4 because responder promises only 4.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question?
What if they only had 3 card heart support, but 16 to 18?
Well, they're not gonna raise hearts then, are they? They're gonna make another bid that may or may not be forcing. I mean, if nothing else, if partner's a minimum hand, if you bid 2 suits, then if partner's a minimum, he should at least take a preference. He will either take a preference or rebid his suit if he's very weak. So you will get the chance to show 3 card support at that turn to bid. When you delay your support for a round, that shows one card fewer in support. So let's say, for instance, instead of going 1 diamond, 1 heart, 3 hearts, this goes 1 diamond, 1 heart, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts. I didn't raise you directly because I don't have 4, but I do have 3. Does that make you happy?
Okay. And that's because responders only promising 4 of the suit.
Right.
Okay.
That's the way we find, when you play a 5-card major system like Standard American is, this is the way you find your 4-4 major suit fits. Gorin was a 4-card major system. Standard American is a 5-card. And so you have to have a way to find your 4-4 major suit fits. So in Standard American, that's the way we do it. And you can still find a 5-3 fit even when responder has 5 of a major and opener does not have 4. There are a number of ways to do it. Of course, if responder has a limit raise or better, he can use new minor forcing. Or in the instance where opener bids 2 suits and responder takes a preference, then there's the opportunity for opener with a good hand to show 3-card support for responder. So the indirect raise is an important feature. It's often more important to show 3-card support for responders major than it is to show a 6-card suit, for instance, or a 6-4 distribution. Trying to find the fit in responders major is your first priority always. There we are. We're at the end. Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for stopping by the Oklahoma Collective's YouTube channel. Basically, this channel shows recordings of our free 1-hour bridge lessons for advancing players that we offer every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you would like to join us, send your contact information to the email address shown on the screen, and we'll be happy to send you the link. If you would like to follow our channel and be notified when a new recording is uploaded, just click the Oklahoma Collective button below. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.